Okay, let's go live. It's James Smitty speaking, trainingsites.io. I got a community. I want to get paid. Well, we're going to go over 3 different ways that you can control access to some of the groups and spaces in your community if you're using FluentCommunity. Now, the interesting thing is the same kind of way to protect content and or groups in this particular case in your community is pretty similar, irrespective of what kind of setup that you use. So if you happen to be using Circle or BuddyBoss, or in my case, FluentCommunity, same kind of idea will actually apply. Now, if you're not familiar with what a group is, or in our case, it's called a space, this is how it works. I'm again in the trainingsites.io campus. We've got here a whole bunch of spaces / groups, 2 different words for the same name, for the same thing, in my opinion. Think of it as a Facebook group, right? So there's people who are members and they have access to see and or post to this group, and the group can be public so everyone can see what's in it but not post. It can be private so that no one sees what's in it and no one can post unless you've let them. And then hidden, which means no one knows it exists unless you tell them. And in my case, we've got a bunch of them here in the trainingsites.io campus. A number of them are free. You can go and join. And if you haven't already, the best way to do that is just make sure to go to trainingsites.io/join. This community is free to you, except for some of the little ones I'm going to show you right now and how I ended up protecting them. So anytime we look at the screen here, I'm just going to cover on the left-hand side. These are the menu choices. I'm going to keep this part open so that you can see it. But the menus are here, and in my case, I have a done with you live classes. These are paid groups or spaces. These ones are free ones. So let's take a look and see how this works. First thing, let me get rid of that so we can hide a little bit. And I'll make the screen a little bit bigger so you, that's too big. We'll make it there. This is actually 125%. It's normally isn't that big. We can get 4 across on a monitor in my example. And of course it works on a mobile device as well. But in my case, let's just take a look and I'll show you how a free one works. So I got study hall of events and announcements. So these are ones obviously about stuff coming in, whether it be things that you've done or that are available on the campus. And if you scroll through here, you're going to see that there's a banner across the top. And then on the right-hand side, we have about and public, and we've got some recent activities are here. And again, it's just content that goes through. People can comment, add posts, that kind of thing, and put it through. And I announce the new videos that we have here. That's an example of something that's going on. So this particular one that I'm looking at, if I go to the right-hand side, see where the ellipses menu is, and I go to space settings. If you look at this one, here I've got the events and announcement, which was the title. I have a slug, which is classes, because I want to make sure that it's members space classes. So if I have to refer anyone directly to this group. And if you look up at the top of the screen here, you'll see that that's the URL. And the slug is this part here, classes, that comes from right here. Okay, and then I've got a description, and then I have a menu group. And basically a menu group is, in my case, I created a group for the free members, and I said, you know what, I want this space or group, I want it to be part of this group of menus or in this menu group. That's where I assigned it. You don't have to, you can keep it blank, so it's just an available group, and it's not on the left-hand side menu unless you manually put it there by itself. But in case, in this one, I said, yeah, keep it in the do-it-yourself group, which is study hall. It's shared with those other free groups. And then notice here, access control. These are the important ones. You can see it's got public, allow users to request to join this space, and any logged in user can see it. So there's the 3 choices: public, private, and secret. In my case, it's public. Who can view space members? So this means that if someone's logged in and someone's a member of this group, that means that other members can see who else is actually connected, and they can actually say, hey, reach out to them, or at least comment or know that they're there. You'll also see where it says allow users to request to join this group. You can make a public one, but don't allow people to register. The way I have this one set up is that people, as soon as they register to the website, they're automatically added as a member. So I don't need to check that. Now, here's the other one that's kind of interesting here, file document library. I didn't add one. I showed you that, I think, a little bit earlier. And then we have some layout options that are available to it and a group chat. So that one's free. How does it actually happen and how do I get it so it's protected? Well, let's take a look at some of the other spaces or groups that are available. I'm going to show you a hidden one or a demo one that isn't, that's just in draft right now. And that one is this one here, Build Your Campus and Content. You can see that there's no image here. I don't have a featured image for it. It's just a default image that's there. And this one is marked private here. See, it's private. This one was public. This one here is private. So I can go view the space. And when I view it, I'm an administrator, I'm a member. I can come and see it. And on the right-hand side, it has the same about that I wrote in. It also has marked as private, and it's got pending members. Now, why does it have pending members? This is exactly why now. Go back to the ellipses in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to click it and do space settings. And here we go. It looks very similar where I have the title and the icon for this group. I've got a slug. There's the slug up there, build courses. Got a description. It's in a different group. It's in the done with you group. And this one says private. Now, remember I had private and secret? Private means that the only time people get to actually see the posts or make a post is if they're members of the group. It's a private group. That means if someone goes to see it, someone goes to that direct URL at the top, and I'll just copy this while I'm here now. If someone goes to that, and they try and see it, they're going to get one of three things. What are they? They're going to get a custom lock screen, a default lock screen, or a redirect to a URL. And in this case, I have a couple different things to show you. Allow users to request to join this space. That one's important for this one here, which is the default lock screen. If it's a group and it's marked as private, and you just want to hide it or make it where people have to say, hey, I'm interested, I want to join this private group. So they see the name of the group, but they don't see any content. That's the default lock screen. So if I open up an incognito window where I'm not logged in, and I go and I paste in that URL for this particular group, it comes up, but oh, here it is. It says, this is a private space. Please send a join request, and an admin will review your join request. And I can either log in or sign up. In my case, I may be logged in and I would see this if I'm not a member of the group. But if I want to sign up, I would just go and sign up, be brought to the registration part. There we go. Sorry, brought to the registration. And then I'd fill it in. The administrator gets it and say, nah, yes or no. They get access or don't get access. So that particular example was a default lock screen. Now, the other thing that might happen is you might say, hey, wait a second, I want someone to pay for something. I want a little bit of a sales page. I want to make sure that if someone gets access to this private group, I need to be able to collect some money from it. And there's a couple different ways of doing that. Here's the first one right here. See where it says custom lock screen? If I select custom lock screen, do you see how it changed a little bit? See, this had allow users to request to join the space for default. I went to custom lock screen. It just says, no, who can view the space? Members, members only. So that means that only people who registered can see each other. But this one has a custom lock screen. And in my case, I'm going to go save the changes. Bottom right, it just shows me that it was actually saved. Do it one more time just to make sure. I want to make sure to clear the cache. And I'm just going to refresh this. Hopefully we get everything clear. There we go. So on the right-hand side, it's marked as private now. There's one person there. I'm going to hit the ellipses again, space settings. And then here's the important part. I've got the same information. It's marked as private, a custom lock screen. If you look at the top of the page here, it has lock screen. So I'm going to do a left mouse click on lock screen. And this is going to bring a built-in kind of page editor for the lock screen. And at any time, what I can do is I can edit this using the editor to basically have the information that I want. And if you look on the left-hand side, let me just make sure I got a better screen here for you. On the left-hand side, we have the banner and a call to action. So I can play around with these, and in fact, I can even hide them if I want so they don't show up. So if I just want to have a call to action and a description, and I want to make sure they're in that order, I can go and I can basically just go and edit it. And there's where I make my text, a button link, and I can open in a new tab. And they have some designs where you can change some colors and stuff. Now, personally, I don't use this. I think it's ugly. One of the things that I have done is I'll hide the banner and the footing. In this case, I'll hide it. And I'll just make sure that the description is available. Make sure, sorry, that it's available there. And this is just like a basic editor. So we can go in and just think like Gutenberg, right? We can put our heading, those pieces in. I just basically put some text in along the lines of, hey, you need to join beforehand. Here's the link. And you can link out to a shopping cart or whichever way that you're collecting money. You can do it that way. Very, very, I think, not necessarily the most elegant way of doing it, especially if you need to do some persuasion or so social links or be able to do a little bit of selling before someone will actually pay some money to get up. And again, I have this where it's a link to a shopping cart. Doesn't have to be. It could be a link back to the registration page. But in my case, you know, using that lock screen isn't necessarily the way that I want to go. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to show you a better way to do it. What's that third way? Well, let's go take a look. In my case, I'm going to go back to the ellipses. I'm going to hit the spaces, space settings. I'm going to bring it up. And instead of the custom lock screen or the default lock screen, I'm going to do redirect to a URL. And I'm going to select that. And I've got a sales page that I created on the WordPress site. So this isn't in FluentCommunity. This is a separate page. And in this case, it's on my WordPress site. But hey, it could be anywhere. It is a redirect to a different URL. In my case, I created one called trainingsites.io/pass. So I'm just going to go save this now. And on mine, I'm going to make sure, hopefully it's saved. I'm going to open up that incognito browser. I'm going to visit the page ago, and I should be redirected to my sales page. Oh, there we go. So I was redirected to the sales page, which is trainingsites.io/pass. And I've got a free one if someone happens to be here and hasn't joined yet, so they can go free. And in my case, the campus pass that we have is a quarterly pass. It's $249 a quarter. And if someone wants to join up, they click the button and they're brought to WooCommerce. Now, the way I have mine set up is that you have to be able to take payments, right? So whether that's a membership site or another plugin or WooCommerce, or more importantly, the brand new Fluent Cart, which is coming out, if you have a way to take payments, if there's a successful payment, what FluentCommunity can do is say, hey, this person purchased something in WooCommerce. If they purchase something, add a tag. And if they have this tag, automatically enroll them in this group. And that's exactly what happens for me. So if someone goes and they end up purchasing, they view the cart, they go through and make the payment, they're going to be brought in, actually registered to the site when they have to put their credit card details in. They're going to get a tag that says, for example, Campus Pass. And that Campus Pass, there's an automation in FluentCommunity and WP Fusion in your case for the person I'm making this for. There's an automation just says, hey, if this have this tag, automatically add them to this group. So they're enrolled. They don't have to ask anything. It automatically adds them to the group. So they now can see it when they're logged in. They can post when they're logged in. And in fact, even when they are logged in and something happens in that group, it's going to show up on the home feed automatically. Only people who are in that group will see that information in the home feed. someone who isn't in that group, they get to go to the home feed, but they don't get to see the content. This is a real powerful way to be able to create subgroups or subspaces for people in your community. In my case, I have 4 free ones, and I've also, sorry, 4 free ones here in the study hall. And then I have these ones here. One is a course, and then the other ones are groups that are only for people who have a campus pass. These ones are just resources, but these are paid groups. And in my case, the way it's set up, if someone wants to go and take a look at this one, and they go and open it in an incognito window, even though it's there, they're brought to that page unless they're already a member, they'd see everything that was inside. So hopefully that'll help you out. This is, there's a whole bunch of different ways to actually do this. One of the things that I always talk about at the start is if you're serious about building out your training site, your personally branded campus, your AI powered community, first things, make sure to join trainingsites.io. But also, the first thing to ask people do is take that 10-step campus map. This is my blueprint, my framework for all of the steps that you're going to have to go through when you're actually building out your education business. In my case, there's a couple steps that people often skip over, and that is, picking your topic, having business goals, understanding what it is you're selling and who you're selling it to. And this one here is choose the right tools for success in building your campus. If you don't know those things, you're not going to be able to set up these groups or spaces that support that kind of business. So that is a free course, the 10-step campus course. It's free to you. Get in there. It's part of the campus. Again, if you join for free. And setting up these groups is a powerful way to be able to teach specific areas or support the people that you're trying to help to share your transformation, to be able to make sure that they get the guidance and your experience as they learn how to start, build, and grow their business. Hope you enjoyed this. This is James, trainingsites.io. We'll be back shortly with another great video for how you can do just that, start, build, and grow your education business. Like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be right back.